Hello, my name is Irki, and today I will interpreting three video from English to Indonesian. This is first video is about what is nation.
What is a nation?
Apa itu bangsa?
The attempt to formally define the nation as a political concept dates back to 1882 when French philosopher and historian Ernest Renard published his seminal essay titled What is a Nation? In this essay, Renard defines the nation as a large-scale solidarity constituted by the feeling of sacrifices that one made in the past and of those that one is separated to make in the future. This explains why Renard believes that if we are to imagine the nation as good and worthy of continuous sacrifice, we must realize that it necessarily entails a process of forgetting. This is because, for Renard, the efforts to obtain national unity, either in the name of civic or ethnic nationalism, involve acts of violence and subsequent forgetting. Based on the initial conception of a nation developed by Renard, scholars have come up with a more formal definition of a nation, namely, a community of people formed on the basis of a combination of shared features such as language, history, ethnicity, culture, and territory. Put differently, a nation is the collective identity of a group of people understood as defined by language, history, ethnicity, culture, and territory. And for this reason, a nation is generally more overtly political than an ethnic group. In fact, many scholars considered it as a fully mobilized or institutionalized ethnic group. Later on, the famous political scientist Benedict Anderson views the nation as an imagined community. For Anderson, the nation is an imagined political community that is culturally imagined as both inherently limited and sovereign. As we can see, there are four key elements in this definition. First, the nation is imagined simply because members of any particular nation will never meet most of their fellow members, yet in the minds of each lives the image of their communion. Second, the nation is imagined as limited because it has finite, yet sometimes elastic, boundaries beyond which other nations lie. Third, the nation is imagined as sovereign because the concept of the nation itself was born in an age when the Enlightenment and Revolution were destroying the legitimacy of the divinely ordained, hierarchical dynastic realm. Finally, the nation is imagined as a community because, regardless of the actual inequality and exploitation that may prevail within each, the nation is conceived as a deep, horizontal comradeship.
Bangsa dipahami sebagai persahabatan sejati yang mendalam dan setara antar sesama. So this is video 1 about what is nation. Let's go next to video 2. This is video 2 is about what is syntax.
Syntax
itu aturan dalam bahasa yang nentuin urutan kata dan struktur dasar kalimat di berbagai bahasa. Setiap bahasa punya sintaksnya sendiri yang menunjukkan ke pembicara dan pendengar bagaimana dari kalimat yang harus muncul dulu supaya maknanya bisa dipahami. Ini semacam panduan yang kita pakai saat ngomong atau menulis supaya kalimat kita bisa dimengerti dan benar. Ingat, sintaks jangan sampai disamakan dengan semantik. Semua ini adalah dasar buat bikin kalimat. Jadi, ayo kita bahas lebih lanjut. Seperti yang sudah dijelaskan, susunan kalimat itu artinya urutan kata dalam sebuah kalimat. Pemilihan kata atau diksi berarti memilih kata-kata tertentu supaya maknanya lebih jelas. Semantik itu artinya kata-kata yang dipakai ngasih arti apa. Di video ini, kita bakal fokus bahas susunan kalimat alias sintaksis. Dalam bahasa Inggris, kebanyakan kalimat punya urutan kata yang tetap. Ya, kadang bisa berbeda, tapi biasanya bahasa Inggris standar mengikuti urutan SVO, yaitu subject, verb, object. Contohnya, the boy looks outside of the window. Dalam kalimat contoh ini, kita punya subject, boy, kata kerja, so, and object outside. Ini adalah font sintaksis kata bahasa Inggris yang digunakan oleh ahli bahasa untuk menunjukkan struktur kalimat. Mungkin kamu jarang melihat pohon sintaksis, tapi bisa membuatnya itu cukup berguna dan membantu memahami susunan kalimat. Di grafik ini, kamu bisa melihat kalau kalimat dipecah menjadi bagian-bagiannya, kata kerja, kata benda, artikel, dan preposisi. Setelah itu, kata-kata dikelompokkan supaya tahu bagaimana kalimat itu. Frasa nominal, frasa preposisi, atau frasa verbal. Yang menarik adalah bahwa urutan kata SVO bukan satu-satunya cara. Dalam bahasa lain, urutan kata berbeda dan tata bahasa mereka juga melibatkan elemen lain. Dalam contoh kalimat yang diberikan, subjeknya adalah kucing, predikatnya ada duduk, dan objeknya adalah tikar. Gambar kedua menunjukkan tata bahasa dengan cara yang berbeda. Dalam gambar ini, kalimat anjing mencintai gadis dibagi menjadi partikel, nomina, verba, prasa nomina, dan prasa verba. Sama seperti yang dilakukan sebelumnya. Misalnya, di kalimat ini, subjeknya adalah anjing, predikatnya adalah mencintai, dan objeknya adalah gadis. Tapi jangan takut lihat pohon struktur kalimat. Itu cuma membuat bantu kita lebih paham struktur kalimat dan jelasin fungsi tiap bagian. Keuntungannya lagi, kalau kata-kata di kalimat di bawah urutannya, kita bisa gampang ngerti dan dengan bikin diagram kayak contoh di atas. Contohnya, bayangin kamu dengan kalimat dalam bahasa asing yang punya urutan VSO. Atau bentuk lain, membuat pohon sintaksis untuk kalimat itu bisa membantu kamu menyusun kata-kata dalam urutan SVO, supaya kamu bisa paham apa yang sedang dikatakan. Yuk kita ingat lagi, sintaksis artinya struktur kalimat. Diksi artinya pemilihan kata yang tepat supaya maksud tertentu bisa disampaikan. Semantik artinya makna yang keluar dari kata-kata itu. 4. Pohon sintaksis adalah alat grafis keren yang menunjukkan struktur kalimat dan membantu memahami urutan kata serta kata cara kerjanya. Terima kasih telah ikut belajar sintaksis bareng kita di tutorial ini. Kalau kamu merasa video ini bermanfaat, jangan lupa tonton video-video lain di channel kita juga. Sampai jumpa. So this is video 2 about what is syntax. Let's connect to video 3. And this is video 3. It's about what is coronavirus.
For almost a decade, scientists chased the source of a deadly new virus through China's tallest mountains and most isolated caverns. They finally found it here, in the bats of Shitao Cave. The virus in question was a coronavirus that caused an epidemic of severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, in 2003. Coronaviruses are a group of viruses covered in little protein spikes that look like a crown, or corona in Latin. There are hundreds of known coronaviruses. 7 of them infect humans and can cause disease. The coronavirus SARS-CoV causes SARS, MERS-CoV causes MERS, and SARS-CoV-2 causes the disease COVID-19. Of the 7 human coronaviruses, 4 cause colds, mild, highly contagious infections of the nose and throat. 2 infect the lungs and cause much more severe illnesses. The 7th, which causes COVID-19, has features of each. It spreads easily, but can severely impact the lungs. When an infected person coughs, droplets containing the virus spray out. The virus can infect a new person when the droplets enter their nose or mouth. Coronaviruses transmit best in enclosed spaces where people are close together. Cold weather keeps their delicate casing from drying out, enabling the virus to survive for longer between hosts, while UV exposure from sunlight may damage it. These seasonal variations matter more for established viruses, but because no one is yet immune to a new virus, it has so many potential hosts that it doesn't need ideal conditions to spread. In the body, the protein spikes embed in the host cells and fuse with them, enabling the virus to hijack the host cell's machinery to replicate its own genes. Coronaviruses store their genes on RNA. All viruses are either RNA viruses or DNA viruses. RNA viruses tend to be smaller, with fewer genes, meaning they infect many hosts and replicate quickly in those hosts. In general, RNA viruses don't have a proofreading mechanism, whereas DNA viruses do. So, when an RNA virus replicates, it's much more likely to have mistakes called mutations. Many of these mutations are useless or even harmful, but some make the virus better suited for certain environments, like a new host species. Epidemics often occur when a virus jumps from animals to humans. This is true of the RNA viruses that cause the Ebola, Zika, and SARS epidemics, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Once in humans, the virus still mutates, usually not enough to create a new virus, but enough to create variations or strains of the original one. Coronaviruses have a few key differences from most RNA viruses. They're some of the largest, meaning they have the most genes. That creates more opportunity for harmful mutations. To counteract this risk, coronaviruses have a unique feature, an enzyme that checks for replication errors and corrects mistakes. This makes coronaviruses much more stable, with a slower mutation rate than other RNA viruses. While this may sound formidable, the slow mutation rate is actually a promising sign when it comes to disarming them. After an infection, our immune systems can recognize germs and destroy them more quickly if they infect us again, so they don't make us sick. The mutations can make a virus less recognizable to our immune system, and therefore more difficult to fight off. They can also make antiviral drugs and vaccines less effective, because they're tailored very specifically to a virus. That's why we need a new flu vaccine every year. The influenza virus mutates so quickly that new strains pop up constantly. The slower mutation rate of coronaviruses means our immune systems, drugs, and vaccines might be able to recognize them for longer after infection, and therefore protect us better. Still, we don't know how long our bodies remain immune to different coronaviruses. There's never been an approved treatment or vaccine for a coronavirus. We haven't focused on treating the ones that cause colds, and though scientists began developing treatments for SARS and MERS, the epidemics ended before those treatments completed clinical trials. As we continue to encroach on other animals' habitats, some scientists say a new coronavirus jumping to humans is inevitable. But if we investigate these unknowns, it doesn't have to be devastating.
Kita juga nggak pernah benar-benar fokus untuk
Students and teachers all over the world did their part.
Untuk SARS dan MERS. Wabahnya sudah selesai sebelum pengobatannya selesai diuji. Karena kita terus masuk ke habitat hewan, beberapa ilmuwan bilang cuma soal waktu sebelum coronavirus baru loncat ke manusia. Tapi kalau kita lihat dari sisi yang belum diketahui itu, sebenarnya kita harus bikin kita merasa kewalahan. So this is all my video that I have interpreted from English to Indonesian with simultaneous interpreting technique. I'm sorry if there are any misplaced word or misunderstanding word or messy word that I have to say, and I'm sorry if that my say in this video have some delayed time, and thank you.